Hello and welcome into a Monday edition of the Jet Report, a later edition, a 7 o'clock p.m. edition of the Jet Report. What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary hanging out with you for the next little bit as we talk New York Jets and specifically Zach Wilson's performance. How about that? A little week two. Duh. It's his second game. Week 5 performance review for Zach Wilson. We'll go through all of that. We'll answer your questions. Super chats, of course, jump the line. Appreciate each and every one of you guys in here. Yes, we're a little bit later because of, a couple of different reasons. But I'm going to check on the stream, but technology should look much better. And fingers crossed the tech issues are behind me now. So appreciate you guys for a little bit of a later edition. We're able to get it up later today. And I want to talk to you guys about Zach Wilson because, the big storyline was the upset win. Breece Hall, 200 all-purpose yards. Sauce Gardner, a couple interceptions. The interception and safety. Carl Lawson, a pressure machine. Quinnen Williams gets another sack. JFM was great. But I want to talk about our guy, Zach Wilson. How did he do? Because he was kind of an afterthought. In his return, he was very much so a storyline, and for a couple of reasons. One, you had a couple of turnovers early on, which obviously isn't great. And we talked about at length who was at fault for each one and what the deal was, which is fine. That's expected. But then he had the monster fourth quarter and led a couple of comeback wins, which was a couple of comeback drives that led to a win. This past week, very different. The Jets hung up 40, and he didn't have to do a lot, but he was solid. He only threw the ball 21 times, but he went 14 of 21, which is a pretty nice completion percentage. We call that 66.66666, or just rounded to 7, 66.7 completion percentage, 99.3 rating, 210 passing yards, which is 10 yards per attempt, and he added a rushing touchdown. Simple, easy, effective, right? Of course, he didn't go out there and throw for 300 yards. He didn't throw the ball 35 times. He didn't throw for multiple touchdown passes, but he played a solid, steady football, which is kind of what we saw from him down the stretch last year. Again, I would classify this as a good Zach Wilson game. Is it one that, we're going to circle and say, oh my God, this is the one where I knew like he was an absolute star? I don't think so. It wasn't like the Tennessee game last year or the Tampa Bay game last year, but I liked how he played. And we have some good numbers from Zach Rosenblatt that I want to share with you. I'll present right now. Pop it up on the screen. Just bear with me a moment as we pull this up from him. We'll pull up the numbers, and you have Zach Wilson in his last 5 quarters, a 72.7 completion percentage, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, 0 turnovers, 8 scoring drives, and most importantly, playing mistake-free football. He also follows that up and says, also, Zach Wilson, 81.9, had the best PFF grade of his career against the Miami Dolphins. Now, again, I'll say I don't think I would classify this as the best Zach Wilson game. The ones that stand out to me more, I would say, was a Tampa Bay game for sure. And I even thought that as crazy as it might sound, last week probably popped a little bit more because of his performance in the fourth quarter. And yes, I know he had the turnovers, but he went up over 250 yards. And again, I want to reiterate, I think this is a really good Zach Wilson day. Just steady. You like it. He didn't have to do too much in this game, which is fine. Like, you have a young quarterback. You don't need him to throw. Everyone was complaining with Joe Flacco. He was throwing the ball 50, 60 plus times. And they were like, all right, Brees Hall, you got to run it with Brees Hall and Michael Carter more. And guess what? They gave Brees a ton of carries and he was great. He ran for what he finished 97 yards and another 100 yards receiving. Have a day. Have a day, Brees Hall. But for as for the young quarterbacks, and you guys in the comments, if you're watching it live, get in after me and let me know what you think about Zach Wilson's performance or any other thoughts or concerns. Also, want to make it clear that this is available after the fact. So if you're watching this back and say, "Oh, I got to dip out," well, you can either watch it back on YouTube or we also have this in podcast form on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever the hell you get a podcast. It's available. So appreciate that. But yeah, how about that? A victory Monday and a day where young quarterback looked good. Didn't have to do too much. But when you look around the league at some of these other young quarterbacks, I don't know, man. Lawrence really struggled. He threw a couple of interceptions and looked bad against the Houston Texans, who stink out loud. Trey Lance and Mac Jones are hurt. Davis Mills has come crashing back down to earth. And Justin Fields has struggled. So I like what we've seen through 2 games from the Jets' young quarterback. And that stat line, I'll pull it up one more time. 72.7 completion percentage, a passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, no turnovers, and 8 scoring drives in the last 5 quarters. Pretty good. And earlier today, the main video on the channel this morning, we were talking about the Jets discredit, like people discrediting the Jets, and people love to discredit Zach Wilson, but I think he absolutely has the ability to play in this league. And I think he's showing that. I'm excited about his potential going forward. So with that, that was kind of just what I wanted to open with, my overall thoughts on Zach. And you guys, you let me know in the comments what you're feeling. But we'll go to Merc Life. He's a member of the channel. Make sure to subscribe up to that too, or join the channel. If you just hit the button, join at the bottom. You're able to do that and support. Appreciate it. He says, love the later time slot for the Jet Report. Yeah, it just ended up working out. What happened was, so I was having a ton of internet issues over the last, well, for a while, but really bad this past week. And for me, what ended up happening was Optimum decided to come at right around my time slot where I normally do this. So I said, well, you know what, we'll push it back. And it wouldn't be a Jet stream without the bots in the channel. So we'll scroll down and get those out of there. King Jamie says, hey, Matt, how about them Jets? Love it. Good luck to your Chiefs tonight, by the way. He obviously, his profile picture is the Kansas City Chiefs logo, but he's in here supporting a ton, and he has a great appreciation for the Jets. So I respect the hell out of that. I also think that they play well. I hope they win, and I hope they cover for me too. I picked them against the spread. I think they do. Patrick Mahomes is so much fun to watch, man. I absolutely love it. Victory Monday. We got so many good. The New York Jets super fan says, oh, what a beautiful day it is today. Chris Havern, excuse me, says, let's go, baby. Victory Monday. And then follows it up with Jet fan from Florida, was wearing my nice stealth black jersey at work today down here in hostile territory. Nice. The tears were so delicious. So much shit talk on Friday. Crickets and excuses Monday. Yeah, that's so... I get it. I empathize with you. Obviously, I'm up here in New York. I'm on Long Island, so we don't necessarily get that. But doing this online and being subjected to comment sections, and Dolphins fans a lot flooding the comment sections, it's, oh my God, pump the brakes, relax. You beat a third string quarterback. F that, man. Is Tua or Teddy Bridgewater stopping the run? Are they playing linebacker that I just don't know about also? Are they playing like it's 1937? You play both sides of the ball? Because Brees Hall and the Jets ran wild on this defense. They hung a 40 spot up, man. Dioniso Cortez says, we knew Teddy would get taken out. Just happened faster than we thought. Yeah, I can't believe it's the first play of the game. What a play from Sauce Gardner. And I don't like him. Don't love giving him credit, but you got to give him credit here. That was a really good play call from our defensive coordinator. Got to give him credit, man. Call it like I see it. Ulbrich called a really good play. They never blitzed their outside corners. They caught him off guard. And that was that. Oh, God. Here we go. Casey, I'm just going to toss this up before we get to the super chat. Casey says Jets should draft Quinn Ewers. I like Texas, the Longhorns, that is. But I'm good. I like Zach too much. Super chat. We're going to go to Brian Bogan. And Brian Bogan says Miami had the number 11 rushdie and could not stop Breece Hall. They couldn't. You're right. You're 100% right. In Breece's 5th ever game, can we just think about this for a second? Can we talk about just how good Breece Hall has been? It's his 5th ever game. How often do we see Jets skill position players ball out like this so early in their career? He had a 200 all-purpose yard day in his 5th ever game. Sign me up, man. He was fantastic. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Brian, for the super chat. Lawrence says, what's up, Matt? These Jets look like the real deal. I think they could end up with the best running back tandem in the NFL, top 10 defense, and Zach becoming an awesome game manager. That's kind of what it looked like this past week, right? The defense, to their credit, in the second half, I thought played much better. They kind of let Miami hang around a little bit too much. They did lead him around a little bit too much, but you know what? It's gonna be okay. And Zach Wilson was a great game manager. I think we're gonna pop him up a little bit more. RJ, you called the Breece Hall comeback game, and it happened. You got insider info. LOL. To be fair, I said it the most about I think last week with Zach coming back, but this was by far his best game. Continue to feed that man the rock. He is just so good with the football in his hands. Steven says, I'm calling Elijah Moore coming out party next week. It's got to be time. This was probably the least amount that he was on I think it was the least amount that he was on the field so far, but it's close. It's close. Zach Hunko wants to know thoughts on the next two, Packers and Broncos. Did not think it would be anywhere close to the teams that we are likely to see. The Packers look very beatable. I don't know. I mean, it's Monday. It's very early in the week, and I don't know if I'm going to, or I definitely can't say it right now, and I don't know if I'm going to end up picking the Jets outright. They're like 7.5 point underdogs, I'm pretty sure, in this game. I'd have to go back and look, but last I looked earlier this morning, it was 7.5. I think the Jets cover. I think they keep it close. I think they have a chance to win, which says a lot because think about like where the Jets were over the last couple of years and even a few weeks ago, and thinking they can go on the road and keep this game close and maybe win. And like the Jets never play well in Denver, but if you watch them last Thursday, like I unfortunately did, and I'm sure you guys are football fans. I'm sure you watched it. It's the only game on. It was awful. That team stinks. Russell Wilson looks absolutely cooked. The Jets should beat the Broncos. How about that? We weren't that like it's not maybe that's a game you could win. No. At this point, that's a game you should win. Not could, not maybe, not have a chance. Should. And I think that this upcoming week against the Packers, that I will classify as having a chance. Andrew says Zach played a great game. He played what they gave him. I'll take that all day if that's the outcome. Play the game you're given. 100. Andrew could not agree more. Right? People are going to look at the box score and say, oh my God, they're afraid to let Zach Wilson throw. He only threw the ball 21 times. What? Come on now. Let's be serious. Oh, Matthew with a big one comes in and says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that we make the playoffs? Right now, the Jets are in a 5 spot. How about this? The New York Jets are a playoff team right now. That sounds absolutely wild to say. The New York Jets are the number 5 seed. I don't know that they are going to make it. I'll put it at like a 5, so like right down the middle. But I think the Jets are in a position where they are going to be playing meaningful football if they continue to play at this pace that they are, which is all we were asking. Be in the hunt, in that graphic in November, past Thanksgiving, December, and the final year is around Christmas time. And who knows, maybe that last game of the year against Miami means something. Maybe that's for second place in the division. Maybe that's for a wild card spot. Because look, I mean, let's be honest here. I know they had an outside chance of if they won and Buffalo lost, which Buffalo steamrolled the Pittsburgh Steelers, that they could have had a chance for first place. But and I know that Miami ended up beating Buffalo, but Buffalo, they're the best team in the league. I don't even think that's up for debate, just how good they are. I think the Jets get swept by Buffalo. My hope is that they keep it close. Buffalo is a team that looks like they're going to win like 14 games this year. So I don't think you have a shot to catch them. So if you are going to make the playoffs, it's going to be a wild card spot. But who knows? Maybe it's only going to take 9 or 10 wins to get it. And my prediction before the year started was 8 wins, and they would be 3-2 through the first 5 weeks of the year, which is that's where they are. And who knows? Maybe that 8 can now turn into a 9 or a 10 spot. I didn't think that they'd beat the Packers. Definitely didn't think they were going to beat the Broncos. And those are the next 2 games. And maybe those, change your fate a little bit. Also, I don't know what to make of this New England Patriots team. They're obviously pretty good defensively, and they're well coached. I think you have to split with them though. Still, like I don't think they stink. I don't think they're good, but that's a team you should be on par with. And if you split with them, win your home game against New England, that's fine. Brian says so many of the Jets haters are now Jets fans. It's nice to not have them trashing us all season, but that means they can't celebrate our W's with us. Yeah, that's true. A lot of Jets haters. There's so many Jets haters. Raw Power, good choice. He says AVT has to be my next jersey. AVT is tremendous. He's played 4 positions in his first 21 games in the league. Left tackle, right tackle, left guard, right guard. It's perfect. You can't ask for any better. And please don't listen or give in to the analytic nerds who are saying that it was stupid and that Christian Darrisaw is better and gave up less pressures. And that just leaves out so much context to the situation. Adonis says, I have a bet with my friends who was disrespecting the Jets. He's a Packers fan. I told him if we beat him, he has to become a Jets fan. LMAO. We bet this before the season started. He's sweating right now. I know a few Packers fans in my life, and they love to give me the business. But deep down, after losing in London to Daniel Jones and the Giants, and credit to, you know what? Credit to Brian Dable, credit to this Giants team. We were on the pregame live at the end of that game. Giants defense came up big. You got to give them credit. I think Dable has that team playing above their head, and that, like similar to the Jets. I don't know if they're going to end up in a playoff spot, but they play hard and they fight every single week, and you have to give them credit for that. But you think they're confident? Really? You barely scraped by. You needed overtime to get past a third-string quarterback in the New England Patriots. You lost on the road on a neutral site. Actually, it was a neutral site field. It wasn't technically on the road. I think it was technically a home game for them. I don't think there's going to be a pushover. I don't think it's going to be a 40-10 game, which like the last couple of years, I would have said bad matchup. Don't love it. But that wide receiver core stinks. The Jets corners are really good. The Jets pass rush has been very good the last couple of weeks. And I have faith in this offense. I think they'll hang around. I think it'll be a tight game. Sauce throwing up the peace sign after the interception and Carter doing the waddle. Chef kiss. Perfect. I love that. Illegally Beast Mode says when Zach is on track to throw for 3,000 plus yards, do you think all of his offseason contributing to his play? I hope so. Yeah. Can we do, yeah, why don't we do that? Let's pace out what his numbers are or have been, I guess, through the first two games and what they look like for the rest of the season. We can do that. Why not? This is a Zach Wilson based show anyway, so might as well pull that up. Do, 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 do. Okay, I'm going to minimize your comment just so we get the full screen of this. Okay. All right. So 56-14 completion percentage, which is obviously not great. 462 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 73.9 rating. But how many yards per game is he at? 231, which is a pace of 3,927, which is right around where I thought he would be. Right around 4,000 yards over a full season. But let's call it 231 times 14. Let's say he plays 14 games this year. That'd be 3,234 yards. Passing touchdowns have to go up, obviously. But he added that rushing touchdown, which was good. And just continue to play mistake-free football. That's really all that you could ask for out of a young quarterback. I am extremely happy. Has an NFL team ever have a rookie offensive and defensive player of the year? Let me know, Matt. The answer is a couple comments down. I forgot about this, but the Saints with Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore is your answer. There you go. I forgot about that. Zach says DJ Reed and Revis Sauce have been elite. Feels like 2010 again. Yeah, it really does. The corner play is just, God, it's so good. You got to love it. Oh, tough start, Hunter. He goes for my first jersey. Oh, I thought he said Le'Veon was his first jersey. Sorry, I misread. He says, for my first jersey since Le'Veon, got to get Sauce one. That's great. Pop quiz. Who scored the most points in the NFL this week? Is it the Jets? Good question, John. Little JA08 says, let's keep wearing white on black till we lose. Keep it running. All right. Tyler says, not a Jets related statement, but that Justin Tucker game winning kick last night was insane. They pulled statistic on the kick and it was exactly dead center. He is so damn good. So good. It's you got to give him credit. He's probably the best kicker of this generation. Best one since Vinatieri, I would say. Hey, we've seen a 9-7 New York team beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Maybe it happens again. Illegally beast mode. I like the way you think. I still think Quinnen making Tyreek his son on that fumble was the best play of the game. So great to see. It was so great. And I am sure you guys seen it, but I'm going to pull it up anyway, just because I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think this is a pretty good meme that I made of it. Hang on. We're going to find it. The internet agreed with me too, by the way, because it has. I gotta scroll. I was tweeting a lot of sadness during the Met game, so it's gonna be back a little bit. But yes, here we go. New York taxes, Tyreek Hill. LOL. Mike Kaz, Jets all the time, says, I was listening to Buffalo a little while ago. Buffalo Jet fan, I would imagine. Please sub to his channel. He does great stuff. If this holds, 2 runs to the 1 yard line went in, he would have had 2 receiving touchdowns or 2 throwing touchdowns. Zach stats would have looked different. That's a fact. That's true. There's context to that. This was a great snowball. This was a great chant. Take your block of cheese and shove it up your ass. If you don't know, we'll play it on here because I just absolutely love it. Block of cheese. They were chanting this at the Giants and Packers game. No, I'm not going to be able to find it on Twitter. I wanted to play it on the show. Apparently, searching in Giants cheese doesn't do the trick. All right, it's a good video. If I can't find it, someone else look it up. This is Crow and Revis is definitely the answer. I love Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, but Revis is arguably, and in my opinion, the best cornerback to ever play. And Antonio Cromartie was an absolute stud. I hope that Sauce gets to that level, but the answer is Crow and Revis until proven otherwise. Prestige Shogun says, and hang on, I got to put this user away, block that out. A lot of people are saying that Zach Wilson has been terrible since he returned. I disagree. Hell yeah. I also disagree. Jets Chaos. What's up, Jeremy? He says, what's up, my brother? So glad that you're hanging out. Love it, dude. He says, I brought my hose in here with me. Oh, I love it. That's great. Thanks for hanging, Jeremy. AJ, Jets UK says, hey, Matt, the Jets are starting to make me feel proud again. Go Jets. That's a great sign. Yeah. Isn't it crazy that, like, it's Monday, obviously Victory Monday, but I was doing my content today and I'm like, I can't wait to watch our boys on Sunday. And yeah, they're playing a really tough team, a team that's, been in the playoffs a ton, has a Hall of Fame quarterback, all that great stuff. I get it. And they might lose. Maybe they do. I want to see this team again. I'm craving Jets football. I'm not going, I don't want to watch this game. I don't want to sit through another blowout. No, this is fun football. This has been a fun year. How about them Jets? Comments, Matt. I didn't feel the excitement sitting in section 344 row 2. I was among so many Finns fans. Well, at least you got to see him go out sad. That's a plus. Brian Bogan says, knowing what we know, would Justin Tucker be a first round pick? I would say probably, like in a redraft kind of situation, I would say still probably not. Definitely first kicker off the board. Johnny D, Matt, please remind Jet Nation at one point we started Luke Falk. LOL. A win is a win, baby. Hell yes. That nobody felt bad when the Jets were starting Luke Falk and Trevor Siemian and Bryce Petty and the corpse of Joe Flacco and Mike White and Josh Johnson. And like I can keep going on and on and on. It's the NFL. Injuries happen, and also play freaking defense. How about don't give up 40 points? Big Sky Jets fan, what's up? He goes, Matt, what do you think we can do to keep the momentum going? And when will they feed Elijah? I keep playing him in fantasy, think he's going to blow up and end up getting the stiffy. I know that's tough. I have him on my fantasy team. He has not been a great fantasy player. I think it's coming. He is still an extremely talented receiver, and he's still getting open. It's going to click. What do they have to do to keep the momentum going? Just do what you do. Run the ball and have Zach play mistake-free football. It's not a crazy concept. It's simple. It sounds overly simple, but I think that's the recipe to success. Jets chaos. Jeremy, Miami Dolphin fans jumped into my post-game show and literally told us we shouldn't be happy because it was their third-string quarterback. Pathetic. Don't let them say that, because as Richie pointed out on his content today, those Dolphins fans were so cocky and confident. And then number two, they all wanted him to start anyway. They love the guy from preseason. So oof, Bryce Petty. I forgot about that guy. I wish I forgot about Bryce Petty. Brian says, are you concerned that Zach never gets big yardages and sometimes misses easy passes, or do you think he'll just keep getting better with time? Max is like 200, 250 yards passing or less. Well, through 2 games. It's been 210 on 21 passes, which is a 10 yards per attempt, and his average depth of target, I believe, was over 10 last week. I wanna double check on that, which would rank pretty high if that's the case. I wanna make sure. I don't wanna speak out of tune here. Let's do advanced 2022. Advanced passing was does this have a dot? Intended air yards per pass attempt was 10.7 against Miami. It was 9.2 against Pittsburgh. So he is getting the ball down the field a little bit. Hasn't thrown the ball a whole lot. 210 yards on 21 pass attempts is pretty good. There'll be games where he goes over 250 a little bit consistently, but averaging his average right now is what, 231 per game? That's fine. Yeah, John McCarthy says Zach missed out on 2 passing touchdowns by 2 yards total. They'll come. I think they will come in due time. Yeah, good point from Randilla, I'm gonna say. Run the ball until the opponent can prove that they can stop it. Yeah, Miami couldn't. And the Jets were up too. Like, you're gonna run out the clock in the second half. It's not like, it's not like it's going anything crazy. Thank you, John. The big 70+ yard pass play was such a good sign of Zach's progress because Brees was his last read. He went through his progressions. That's right. And hasn't been afraid to check the ball down. How many times is he trying to play hero ball or trying to do too much? Why I really like this Zach game, which is good because the title of this video is analyzing Zach in his second game back. I thought he was fine. He did everything that was asked of him. It was a very game manager like game, but in your 15th career game, I'll take it. That's fine. Mike D's Life, thank you so much for the super chat. Was at the game yesterday, and what a vibe. The fans definitely showed up and showed out. Love the show, bro. Appreciate the support as always. Absolutely love it. I thought the fans were really good. It was loud on TV. I know there were a lot of Dolphin fans there. And shout out to Richie for putting that Jets Media Day together. That looked awesome too. Was jealous that I wasn't there. But yeah, thanks again, Mike's D Life, for the super chat. I wish, hey, be there for a Jets win. Ton of fun. Oh, Jets chaos. You're the best. 2 garlic Parmesan wings on me for the second consecutive win. You're the best. We got to keep that train rolling. You know I love my garlic parm wings. Jeremy, an absolute legend. If you aren't subbed up to him, please make sure to do just that. Oreo says, do you see us keeping both Michael Carter and Hall in 4 to 5 years when both contracts are up? I don't see how we keep all these rookies in 5 years. They all play to their potential. Let's worry about that in years down the line. Right now, both those guys are on cheap contracts, which is like, that's the key in today's NFL. You have to be able to capitalize when you have your guys on their rookie deals. So probably unlikely that both stay, but who knows? I mean, plus Michael Carter is I don't know how much he's gonna get paid. I don't think he's a contract that's necessarily breaking the bank. I don't know why I couldn't say that. Matt Curtis was there. He said, I was there. Jets Media Day was awesome. Shout out, Matt Curtis. You're a real one, a day one supporter. Love it. The cap is a lie anyway, says Anthony G. Not necessarily wrong. Russell says, no need to overanalyze or overcriticize Zach when he's doing his job and winning games. Yeah, that's fair. He's going to be under a microscope as a second overall pick, and the quarterback is always under the most microscope. But I thought he bounced back strong in the second half in Pittsburgh. I thought he responded after, the couple of turnovers, led all those couple big drives, and I thought was very good in a 40-17 win. How are we going to complain about that? I have time for a few more in here, and then we're going to get going. By the way, later tonight, I am on TOJ Live. Check that out at 9 p.m. Matt Groff says, yesterday was a hint of what this offense could be. I agree. Jay says, how would you grade what you've seen from Zach so far? I would say B+ between the two games. Yesterday was A, and the second game or the first game was probably a B. But with the B plus, it gets bumped up to a B plus because of the comeback wins. Does the disrespect stop if we beat the Packers? I would hope so. That I feel like that legitimizes you. And then guess what? You are then 4-2 going to play the reeling Denver Broncos. Anthony G says no turnovers in 6 of his last 7 games. He's getting more comfortable every game. Totally agree. Whoa, Gleddy chimes in. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I think Zach will be our franchise quarterback. But the best thing about this win was how many different players stepped up. He didn't need to be Superman yesterday, and we still rolled with with all this young talent. That's so true. Not every single game do you need your quarterback to throw 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, right? Like, not every single game are you going to have those crazy, output numbers. But again, he managed the game. It was good. It was really solid, I thought. Again, 210 yards on only 21 passes. That's a good day. 10 yards per attempt, average air yards per pass attempt 10.7. You really can't ask for too much better. Jeremy says Zach has thrown a third of the attempts and has more than half the yards that Flacco does. Interesting. I like that. He's definitely pushed the ball down the field a little bit more. His yards per attempt through 2 games is 8.1, a drastic difference than 6.1, which is last year. Obviously, look, there's still a long way to go on the season, but that is a fantastic sign. If at the year's end, that's in the mid sevens, his completion percent is up over 60%, positive, more touchdowns than interceptions. You're in a good spot. Bradley says we can thank Saquon for absolutely beating down their front seven for their long flight home. We just need to continue to do what he did in this game. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a really good performance from Saquon Barkley. He got hurt, came back, continued to beat them down. Breece Hall is going to have a big day this week. Big game this week. Zach, I think, will be fine. And I can't wait to get after it, guys. I really can't wait to get after it. A big week. I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. We talked through Victory Monday. Zach Wilson's second game back. He looked great. We got another Jet Report tomorrow, back to the regular time at 2:00. The video in the morning. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Subscribe, share to a friend, join the channel, all that fun stuff. You guys are the absolute best. I'll talk to you next time, baby.